behavior. So this came up only because of a video that surfaced on the internet of a father um, interacting with a child. All right. So the father is taking the child to school, and apparently she has a bit of an attitude, not quite sure why, but here's the video and then we can talk about it. All right, let's see.
A father and Twitter user shared a video today titled, "I'm not putting up with attitude today." Apparently, the video shows him taking his daughter to school, and his daughter seems to be a little cranky in the morning. He's under a lot of scrutiny right now on Twitter because some people don't think he handled himself the best. What do you think?
Whether you're responsible for yourself. Oh, I'm gonna talk. Hey, go in the house. Tell your mom to take you to school. I'm not putting up with your attitude. Go. Go.
All right, what do y'all think? Who likes to go first?
I'll, I can start. I'll kick it off.
I'll kick it off.
Okay, well then kick it off then.
We'll kick it off.
You sure?
Yeah, go ahead. Ladies first.
What a gentleman. But I think like the a lot of the backlash and everything that he was getting wasn't about like necessarily his behavior or necessarily if he treated his daughter right in that moment or not. The backlash was more so of him posting, like the video didn't just surface, like it didn't just magically appear onto social media. Like he is the one who actually posted it to show the world how disrespectful he felt his daughter was. And that was actually a lot of the backlash that he was receiving in regards to trying to embarrass or humiliate, his daughter. She looked to be no older than maybe 12, 10, 11, 12, somewhere in that age range. And the fact that he needed validation or whatever he was trying to do by posting his daughter in such a negative light. So he can have people under the comments, oh, she needs to get slapped in her mouth, oh, she would have been getting up off the floor. Like, well, why would you expose your child? Why would you put your child out there into the world in that way? And like now your 10, 11, 12-year-old daughter has gone viral for being disrespectful, for all of these things, and that's what they're being known for, and you're the one who is promoting that whole idea of them. Like, that's super harmful. And that's what he was getting a lot of the pushback for. Not necessarily for him, making her go back in the house or whatever he was doing. It was the fact that, like, why did you share this to get people to, like, jump on and bash your 12-year-old daughter? Like, why did you do that? Like, that was a lot of backlash. And that was just, like, ask yourself, like, I don't know why parents feel the need to embarrass their children online in this day and age. That my kids be doing all types of stuff, but there's nothing that they're doing that I feel the need to go to social media to expose to everybody to see. Like, for what? Like, we were kids once. Could you imagine if everything we did wrong or whenever we did some silly stuff or got in trouble, our parents put it on the internet so the whole world could just see it? Like, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy. And parents got to do better.
Yeah. I remember being embarrassed just when my mom shared it with other people in the family. Like, if something happened, it just felt like a violation of trust. And it was like embarrassing. It's like you can't have your mistakes and your bad choices be between you and your parent. So and I can't imagine doing it in front of the whole world. And that video is going to be around forever, and who knows, her peers may have seen it now and they might talk about her, so yeah, that was horrible. There was another thing that stuck out to me, but I want to hear what everybody else has to say. Who likes to go next?
Oh, okay, so I don't think nothing was wrong with how he acted. His behavior was okay. Everybody has bad mornings, bad days. And that's just one of their bad mornings that they had. But to Kenneth's point, but to put it on display for the world to see that his daughter has an attitude. It's not like we know too much about his daughter, but the only thing we do know now is that she has an attitude, right? An attitude problem that he put out there to make everyone feel like he has a bad attitude daughter. Now a lot of people's going to take it to, oh, that's how when see they start off as little girls with bad attitudes. Now they become grown women with a bad attitude, and that's how she's going to be perceived now until something else happens and maybe. But people can always go back to that moment and justify why they're treating her wrong. Like, you always had a bad, even your daddy said you got a bad attitude. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And we shouldn't put our kids in that type of situation for people to be judging them and they don't even know them, right? So I think, he shouldn't have posted it. It was, it was just a morning they had. It shouldn't have been a big deal. Now, I don't even know why that. I don't know what happened prior to them leaving out the house that put him in such a headspace that he just had to post that. You know, like, that's what I be thinking about. Like, something else had to happen for him to get that mad, for him to post that right then and there. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you, he had written a whole dissertation about how she had gotten up for school late that morning. He had got her some Starbucks coffee, and he had got her clothes together. I guess he had did all of this stuff for her that morning. So I guess he felt super,
he was salty.
Super salty that she was acting that way. Yeah, unappreciated. So that's why he put that out there.
Okay, go ahead.
And that's another thing. Like, for him to act that way, that shows how sensitive and soft he is, right? He couldn't even understand that his daughter, who doesn't too much know how to control her emotions because she's still little, right? That she didn't know how to really truly appreciate what he did and to bite her tongue or to just let whatever she had to go because the simple fact that he put extra effort into making sure her day was good. She's a little kid. You can't expect her to know how to act as an adult and to show that, that gratitude towards you like that. And so since he didn't even know that, it goes back to men not paying attention to women's and cues and stuff like that. She's a little girl. You should have known. I'm not about to feel unappreciated from my daughter because she didn't treat me or respond in a way that I thought she should have. She's a little girl. She's not going to pick up on everything you do as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So he needs to be talked to. He needs some counseling if he lashing out like this because he felt salty about his daughter not appreciating what he did that morning. Like, he needs to understand and communicate a little bit better and cater to her feelings. She's the little girl. You need to cater to her feelings. She don't need to be catering to your feelings. And I bought her Starbucks and she, all that. Come on, man. We be this manly macho stuff. We try to act like we so manly, and then stuff like this lets you know that you're not much of a man as you think you are. For that to hurt your feelings, and you have to go and shame your daughter now, that's not very manly. That's not a good act of being a father, but being a protector, none of that. So
it's just such a problem in our community. These shaming tactics and these expectations for these kids, their children, these expectations for these kids. He missed the teachable moment. He missed it. He missed it. She didn't learn nothing from this. She didn't learn nothing. Okay? Nothing. I grew up with somebody who, I love my grandma to death, but Lord, if you didn't know how to do something, that's all you heard about was how you didn't know how to do it. And it's not until she's gotten older that she now understands that if they don't know how to do it, you teach them. Like, because this stuff just been happening for generations. Like, this is just horrible. He missed the teachable moment. The teachable moment could have been him taking the time out to establish like an actual morning routine, because that's where a lot of parents miss the mark. They want to get up, start yelling in the house. Y'all get up and go to school. Get your clothes out. Do this, do that. And I hope she said, "Don't talk to me." What went on at that house that morning for her to look at her dad to say, "Don't talk to me"? Something had to happen. Kids, this goes back to, I think we talked about this a few weeks ago, a couple of months ago. We always painting, especially our brown children, out to be these ungrateful kids because they ain't like kids and generations back. These children just ungrateful. This generation do this and that. These kids act like adults teach them how to act. So she done heard somebody in that house say, "Don't talk to me." She done heard somebody say that. She didn't hear it from school. Okay, she heard it from somebody at her house. That's what he need to be worried about. And now he done put this on display. So now their whole relationship finna change. you know. And then and then if he's not a good father, hopefully he'll learn from this. But hopefully he doesn't fall into the trap of she made me do it or these kids today. That relationship just, you know, just like when we talked about T.I. and his daughter, that relationship now is not the same because you missed the teachable moment. You
Yeah.
missed the moment. You know,
That's what I was gonna say. I feel this scenario sound like something from my childhood, like just like a spitting image of like me and one Saturday morning, me and my dad was supposed to go shopping. Something happened with our schedule. We were behind, and I was just pouting. Oh, I just had the worst attitude. And he pulled over, and the part that struck me as odd with the video is how aggressive he was. Like my dad pulled over, he looked me in my face, and he told me, "Don't nobody got to put up with a steak ass attitude." Turned the car around, went back home. He didn't grab me, he didn't shake me. He was like, "Look, we just not gonna go shopping. I'm not gonna reward you for sitting here pouting or whatever your case may be, but I'm also not gonna put my hands on you either." So it was just strange to me because my dad never hit me. My dad has never put his hands on me at all. But he's always been there to, you know, set the standard. So there are going to be times where you're going to have to still work through your attitude, whether it be at a job, whether it be at a school, whether it be studying. You're going to have attitude. You don't want to study. You have to work through your attitude, whether she did have a hard morning or not. You know, you can't treat people bad because you had a hard morning. But also, you know, you don't got to snatch your little girl up like that. She looked like she was 85 pounds. He snatched her and threw her through the door. What are you proving doing that? You know?
Yeah. I think about a few different things. I think about a few different things.
He snatched the hell out of that little girl. My dad ain't never touched me. This is too much.
He grabbed her arm. In the other video, they did a close up. He grabbed her arm and kind of shoved her back into the house. He didn't apologize. He didn't try to converse with his daughter about what was going on. He shoved her in the house and locked the door. And
I get it because the situation was bad. And so it's going to make that.
But it really wasn't though.
Bad. I get it. But we're not gonna make it seem like he over there abusing her now. We're not gonna do that.
Hey,
I didn't grab my 4-year-old and like go ahead on somewhere.
It's an alternative though.
You're not gonna put that one on her.
Raven said,
we know how you get down, Raven. We know how you get down, but we ain't gonna take that on her.
It's just my daddy never put his hands on me. So this whole idea that you gotta have to push her into the house, like it's the same situation happened with me, and he just pulled up at the house. You gonna have to get out the house, go back into the house. That was it. He didn't push me. He didn't snatch my arm.
Moving fast enough for him.
But I mean,
the funny part is,
what if she wanted to explain why she was going through it? He didn't even care.
The funny part is, if we were to have him and his wife on the show, they would probably start talking about how they have this great rapport with their children and how they encourage their kids to be open and honest about their thoughts and feelings. But see, for brown children, we talk a good game. Let me hold the community accountable for a minute. We talk a good game, but it was in this moment where they just proved you can only speak your mind under certain circumstances.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe she just wasn't. Maybe she's not a morning person. Maybe you know. I know grown. Listen, I train adults for a living. I know grown people who, when they got to get up early in the morning and they come in there. Some people are not morning people. Some people it take them 2-3 hours to get acclimated, to be more social, to be whatever. Like they be like, don't talk to me, don't look at me, ain't trying to engage with you. Like
I need to go through a routine before I can get jovial.
Yes, and
I got a whole routine set.
She might have something going on at school why she wasn't really enthusiastic about going there. She could be getting any type of thing. You're not trying to figure out nothing. You just more centered and concerned about how that child is making you feel in the moment, and you're not paying no attention to what they could actually be going through because it's straight ego. It's like but it goes back to us. Like I say, it still goes back to all of that other stuff and treating kids as property, as property as though they're instead of human beings. Like these are actual human beings that we're like responsible for. They're not responsible for us. They are not responsible for giving. Like that's the whole problem. People be having these kids because they think they having kids for themselves. Like, oh, this kid is gonna love me unconditionally. Oh,
Yeah.
this kid is gonna do this. This kid gonna make me proud. This kid gonna do, not understanding. No, you having a kid, you're there for them, not the other way around. Like, you're there to figure out what they need in order to help them become successful adults, not to sit there and try to figure out how they making you feel all the time. Like, you just upset me. You just did this to me. You just you're not gonna do that. Like, it's ridiculous. Like, it's
they're not, yeah, they're not emotionally responsible for us. They're not emotionally
absolutely
responsible
not.
for us.
Absolutely
Exactly.
not.
And you heard what she said. Did you hear what Miss Cannon Hill said? People who think that other people are property, other humans are property. Oh, what community used to be property to a whole other set of folks? That part. When we gonna start countering some of this bad stuff that trauma, okay? Because somebody probably snatched him when he was a kid, and now he just like, oh, I can do that. It's acceptable.
What
It's
worries me
acceptable.
is that what struck me was that he forfeited all of his authority. So obviously, kids have all types of things that they go through. Who knows? Maybe she just isn't a morning person. Maybe she wasn't feeling well. Maybe she was scared about a test that day. Who knows? That should have been addressed.
Maybe
Now,
it was
I'm
that
not
time
a
of the
parent.
month. You just
Maybe
started. You don't
I'm
know.
not a parent, but I can imagine that, you can't address everything either, right? You can't address everything before you leave out the house. Some things are trivial, some things need to be addressed, right? And you have to decide what is what, right? So let's say it was something trivial. Okay. I think that um, what's trivial to us is not trivial to kids, right? But we still have to teach them how to distinguish between things that need to be taken care of now and things that can wait. Okay. And I think that regardless of emotions, as a parent, I'm not a parent, but I'm a teacher. And so I validate my students' emotions all the time. But then I talk about, okay, well, you have a choice of what to do with this emotion, what to do after.